Justin. Sorry guys that I'm not in my regular Blue Mountain background. In fact, we are talking about water, and I don't know if you can see it. I need to move a little bit, but there's boats, water. So it was just a coincidence. It's my first time here, but yeah.
So
So
Justin, to continuation from last week, how was your trip?
oh yeah, I was in the mountains. So and we were talking about mountains.
Oh,
Um, So
how was the energy in the mountains?
it's crazy. It's you breathe and it feels like, oh, so this is air. Like this is how air smells. Because when you're in the city, you are used to smell whatever the cars or the road or it's your dust. But out there in the mountains, so clean that it feels cleansing. But also uh, I get to see. I was studying the Feng Shui on the mountains over there, and you
Mhm,
don't see much development as in a flat ground. Of
mhm.
course, it's harder, but like you see like a house here, and then couple kilometers there's another house, and so on. So each house has like more space. There are some sections that they are like all very tight together,
Mhm.
but in general, it's just like houses with their own farm or yard. So in the city, everything is more packed, and that's because in a flat ground, you have more uh, the chi that it's on a flat ground um, promotes more expansion or not expansion, but like growth.
Density,
So
density.
yeah. So when you're in the mountains, the chi flow is very fast. It's like a waterfall all the time. So or you're either driving way uphill or like downhill, but you can. There's not much space that you can accumulate and hold that chi to be able to develop a whole neighborhood like you will do in the city.
I see.
That's the feeling that it gives me when you're there. Like, yeah, it's very beautiful. It's a different kind of she. But um, for in the development purpose, how would I should I say like that? Like
Yeah.
development talking.
Mhm.
You don't see that much. You see like just some houses randomly put with their own yard. In only in some sections you see like a little community, but it's not enough. Too many slopes.
Right, right. So actually in feng shui, and they say water is a symbol of money. And so it's where commerce is. So they say like we follow the Tao, and the Tao says water flows to the lowest point. So that's where the money goes to the lowest point, which is usually by the coast, because that's where the
Mhm.
land is more flat. So a lot
Yeah.
of the commerce, the merchants are by the water. So that's why they say, money is water, you know. And in Japan, we have what we call water trade. It's called mizu shobai. And the water trade was like the entertainment business because, like water,
Yeah.
the entertainment is um, coming and going all the time. It's not stable, it's flowing. Yeah. So that's why they kind of call it that.
Nice.
Entertainment and the restaurant, it's a kind of a flowing kind of business. Not like a bank, a little bit
Okay. Yeah.
different. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
well,
it's commerce. Yeah.
yeah, and here even where I am, it gives you the vibe of like very high class, and you see all the yachts. This is I'm in Puerto del Rey Marina, which is the biggest marina in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in Fajardo. I'm an hour from home. But this marina, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like in a bay, so it has like it's not right in front of the open ocean. It has like a sections of coast that blocks like the big waves. So it's very calm in this
Oh,
area.
oh,
And right behind it, right behind the marina, there's the mountain.
uh-huh.
So it has like this ideal flat ground, and right in front of this body of water, which is a section of the Atlantic Ocean.
Hmm.
So
So it's kind of calm waters because you're kind of in a protected area. Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes, it's not it's not like if this is the coast, it's not like this. It's more like a section like this. So you gotta like come in.
Like a bay, like a bay.
Yeah, and it has different tiny little islands in front, kind
Uh,
of like when you're in Hawaii and you see the islands nearby.
mhm.
So here you can do that also. You see Vieques, Culebra Island, Palomino.
Nice, nice. Well, it looks like your restaurants are all open up because there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, but they only allowed one, uh, like, well, there's a couple of people, but they remove a lot of chairs. So you see
Oh,
a lot of space.
oh, they had to spread
So
it out.
yeah, there's the next table. It's about 10 feet away from me,
I see.
uh, something like that,
I
maybe
see.
more. Yeah.
I see. Oh, they're doing a
So
great job doing that, huh?
yeah, in the other restaurant that I went, they obviously every restaurant they put you the thermometer,
Oh, they do.
yeah, the laser one. So
Yeah,
they point you at that,
yeah.
and then they give you hand sanitizer, and it's required that you have a mask. They don't let you come in.
Oh.
I know that you cannot eat with it. I mean, you gotta take it out to eat, but for some reason you have to wear the mask before coming.
I see. I see. Well, that's really kind of just to give you a sense of protection and
Yeah,
psychological maybe also,
yeah,
but it's good.
yeah.
It's good to just do that. At least you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's
Hey,
good.
I was thinking that about the water and that people related with money and everything. Um, I was thinking that when I was in the mountains,
Yeah.
I drove next to a waterfall. I was just right there next to the road, and it was very beautiful. And you you wanted to be there, and at some point, it feels energizing.
Yes.
So when you go to the beach, and you get out of the beach, then you feel like cleansed, like you can even feel lighter. And I maybe you don't feel it that much. You go to the beach, there beach where you are.
Well, there is, but I don't go at my age. No.
Okay,
I mean, I
okay,
can go walk. I don't swim anymore.
okay. But me, for example, I used to work on the beach, like on the water with the jet skis.
Okay.
So I know like what's to have a very stressful day and go to the beach and just go in 5 minutes and you come back and you're very relaxed. But
Yes.
when you're in the mountains and you look at the waterfalls and you go in,
Hmm.
you feel energized, not cleansed, and you can feel light. It can be cleansing also. But I don't know, you get my point. Like
Yes, I do.
uh,
Absolutely, I do.
different waters makes you feel different. And but for some reason I feel like that when I'm in the mountains, and I feel more cleansed when I go to the beach, which is the lowest part.
Okay, I'm good. I've got some images so we can talk about, how we feel with different kinds of water. And so it's interesting because, like you say, different environments affect us in different ways. And that's what feng shui is really about, right? How
Hmm.
our environment affects us. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, that seems like where I am.
Oh, really?
I mean, like the islands nearby.
Mm, you can see, yeah. Yeah.
Culebra has coast
Very
like
flat,
that.
very flat.
Yeah, very relaxed and calmer.
Yeah. And the waters are very, very calm, as you say, and you can tell some places are much more shallow, and the really deep water is really far out,
Yeah.
just by the color, yeah. But again, here the horizon very flat, lots of sky. So, like you say, just looking at the picture, even I'm not there, but I can imagine myself there. It's very calming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel
It,
calm. You feel calm. What do you feel?
no, I feel calm. I like it. In fact, that's the kind of picture that you can print and buy and go to any store and buy a frame, and you can with less than $10 you can have a very nice relaxing frame in your living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And if it's a relaxing image, then it's good in a place, for example, like your bedroom. You
yeah.
want to relax there. That's just an idea for interiors. Let me see what's this. Ah, here we go. Look at that. I'm making it a little
Oh
bit
wow,
smaller.
that's impressive.
There. So you can see the bottom too. There's the top. I'll make it a little bit smaller. 75. There. Look at that narrow. It's a narrow waterfall, huh?
Yeah, but you see what I meant. Like I look at it and you feel the energy. Obviously, it's coming down harder. The other one was much calmer, but this one it has more energy. Like as soon as you see it, you feel it. It's like, oh wow, that's a strong waterfall. I mean, it's thin, but it's strong.
Yes. Well, you got to think about a waterfall is when all the water comes to one point and then drops. That's a lot of force.
Hmm.
That's why you feel the energy, because it is a lot of force. A lot of distance it travels. This one travels a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that reminds me of that I find always very funny when the government spend a lot of money to make a fountain and use a lot of force to get the water up. Water naturally goes down, but you see people like for some reason they enjoy going against the natural patterns, and they, oh no, let's make water go upward.
That's right. So that's why in the Tao they say, like you said, the natural course for water is to flow downward, and you know it's
Hmm.
it's just the natural um,
Yeah.
the natural way. So the way we supposed to live is we're supposed to be humble.
Hmm.
That's the human. Naturally, we should be humble because we follow the Tao. You follow the natural laws.
And also fountains, guys. For the people that wants to buy a fountain, I recommend you buy a fountain that it the water comes down. Like some water fountains has rocks and simulates a water going down a path, but the ones that splash water a lot is at some point it can be overwhelming because it's a strong movement of water. um, if the water coming down, it's more natural feeling, and at night it can even feel relaxing versus strong water coming up and splashing in the fountain. So, and also it's energy efficient.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so when you do have a fountain in your backyard, it's a nice feature. But just think about, yeah, what you're saying is just think about how it flows and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing about water features, that kind of man-made kind, they do have a lot of maintenance issues. So that's something you got to think about. You got to keep it clean. You got to keep the motor running. There's a lot of maintenance issues. Okie dokie. Let's see. This is the city setting,
Oh, wow.
and it
That's
splits the city.
it's kids are eating next to me. There's a lot of kids. Um, that water doesn't seem like a water you want to swim in.
No.
I look at it and it's like Okay, it's nice to be. Yeah. Wow.
That kind of water looks, it doesn't look rough. It looks very calm. It's more
Yeah.
like a road in a sense, a transportation type of water.
Yeah. It would be fun to be like take on a cruise over there and see the city from a different perspective. But I don't know. I wouldn't buy a boat to have my boat in there with my jet.
Yeah, it's you're right. It's the environment is very different again. You know, I in Chicago there's like a river cruise and you go down and you get to see the architecture because Chicago has beautiful architecture.
Hmm.
And that's really fun, you know, because you can see it from a different angle as opposed to being in a car, you know. You get to enjoy a different view. And they were able to clean up the river and so it's a pleasant experience. So I think for this too, same thing. It's not
Hmm.
something you go like on a pleasure, you know, but it's nice to view the city from the water. Okay, I took this because in Feng Shui we say actually roads are considered water.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that's like home. Is that all San Juan?
yeah, there's a Puerto Rican flag there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see the flag now. Oh wow.
Yeah, so I thought,
Maybe
oh, I gotta
in
get
my
this picture.
screen. Remember, I'm not in the computer. I mean, so fine. Like the screen much smaller.
Oh, I
But
see.
yeah, now that I zoom in, I can.
Yeah, and I thought that's so cheerful. You know, the cheerful colors, and I can see it in the hot sun. And, you know, I mean, we won't see this in my part of the world. You know, the Pacific Northwest is a little bit darker, but looking at this, it really suits the environment. Very cheerful, very happy looking, you know?
Yeah, and something interesting about the Old San Juan is that Old San Juan is a separate island. From where you have Puerto Rico's mainland, and there's the San Juan city.
Mm,
But Old San Juan, you need to get a bridge. You need to cross a bridge from San Juan city to
I
Old
see.
San Juan. Old
Oh,
San Juan is surrounded by water.
well, surrounded by water. Oh,
Yeah, it's one side of it goes to the Atlantic, and the other side goes to the bay. Puerto Rico has the San Juan Bay area. That's where we get all the imports. And all San Juan, it's pretty much what holds the waves between the Atlantic Ocean and the bay.
oh,
So you will see one side of Old San Juan, the one that goes to the Atlantic. It's very cliffy, and waves are crashing on that. And the Spanish people built a huge wall. And the part that goes to the bay, um, which it's more like a beach area. It's very calm. People go sailboats. That's where we used to do the jet ski tours. So um,
yeah.
it's when you are in Old San Juan, you feel the change of energy just by crossing. You can get across the whole city in 15 minutes or something like that. From side, I mean, it's very thin and wide, but from the north, which is the open ocean, to the south, which is where the bay is, you can go like 15, 20-minute walk. And when you're in the north side, you feel all the ocean. You know, there's no other country between us and the north and Alaska and North Pole over there. So you feel the strongness of the Atlantic Ocean. It's very rough waves. No one likes to go to take their boat over there because over there also, if you keep going north, there's a trench, and it's the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean, and it's the second deepest in the world. The first deepest is the Meridian Trench, and Puerto Rico, we have Puerto Rico Trench, which is the deepest part of the Atlantic, and
Mm,
it's right there in front of Old San Juan. So we get big waves versus the Bay Area, and it's the biggest bay in the whole island, and it's where we get all the imports and the base of the economy of the island. It's in that bay, even the cruise ships.
Well, yeah, I can understand that because if you don't have deep water, you cannot have those big ships, you know? So
Hmm.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. So it's nice that you had that option, both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you didn't have that deep water, you cannot accept those big cruise ships,
Hmm.
right? They would have to be far out and then you've got to kind of bring them
Yeah.
in, you know? So very
No.
good. Very good. But
Mhm.
I mean, it's good to see that, you know, the different waters reflects the different energies. Yeah.
There's an iguana right behind me, like running around. The, the red one. Sorry, I just saw the iguana and the birds just running around the table.
That's okay.
Um, uh, yeah, in Feng Shui, remember we were talking about the four features, and we talk about the mountains and the guardians, and
Yeah.
the water. It's not necessarily money as people might think that I have water element, I'll be rich or I'll get more prosperity in my life. But water is more like expansion. So yeah, it will bring you growth. And and it will connect also. But if you don't have like an anchor point, like if your water is always lost in the horizon and you cannot like accumulate it, like okay, this is my water. It will not help that land or that city to expand as much as a city that has enclosed water or that has like an anchor point. Like
Yeah.
for example, yeah, like you see, and maybe it's a reef or part of a cove, or maybe it's another island.
Hmm.
So when you have that anchor point, or maybe it's a bay, so that I think that I'm pretty sure, just in what I'm trying to analyze the four features, but four features always change depending on the landscape, the shape of it. So, um, but at the moment, in my experience that I have traveled, I see the richest cities are those that are in a half enclosed water or has an anchor point between the open horizon and their land. That's
Hmm.
my experience every time I travel in a boat or other country.
Well, especially in the olden days, not so much today because we have airplanes, we can go anywhere. But in the
Hmm.
olden days, if you had to be next to water to prosper, right, for trade. You know, I think the other thing we have to mention is water. If when it stagnates, you know, when it doesn't move, that's not
Hmm.
good chi. We always say water has to move because if you're in a river and then you get a little area that doesn't move, the water gets
Yeah, it stings also.
yeah, smells,
Like
it
if you
goes
have a small
rusted.
pond, yeah, I know.
Yeah. So we got to remember that, you know, water needs to move to be good. But
Yeah,
then
if it was
too much water is no good and too little water is no good. So, you know, that's, isn't it? It's kind of strange.
like going fishing on a raging river, it's very hard. I mean, you can do it, but it's not the same as going fishing in a much calmer river. And
That's right. That's
yeah,
right. So it depends
so
where your house is. If your house is near like really rough waters, or if your house is near calm beach, the energy is very different.
yeah. Now that you mentioned that that's part of the quality of water, the kind of water that you're looking for, not a strong current or not a so calm that it stinks.
That's right. It's true. Like, you know,
It-
I do a flower arrangement. It's the same thing. You know, if you go to a florist, you know, my girlfriend worked at a florist and she says, you don't know. She says, I got really strong. I said, why'd you get really strong? And she says, because you got to change the buckets of water many times a day to keep the flowers fresh. And, you know, it's
yeah.
heavy to carry all that water. So, um, in
Also, I
it's
think that
stinky if you don't change the water.
yeah, and also I can say that the color of water is very important also, because yeah, as we saw in the first picture that you show us, like the beach crystal clear water versus like the city water that it's kind of like grayish
Mhm.
or dark. dark green,
Mm.
so it's not appealing to swim. So man, I was gonna move here, take a quick look at this water.
Yeah, let's go look at the water. That's great.
It's
You're on location.
you see, it has a little bit of seaweed floating. I cannot see. It's very bright though.
Yeah, I
But
know what you mean. When you're outside, it's really hard to see the camera. But we can see it looks really pretty.
yeah. So here, since I'm in the shallowest part,
Yeah.
um, too much. So sometimes you can see like a little bit of oil or grease from the boats
Mm,
floating because the water here don't move that much. This is where it ends and where the restaurant is.
yeah.
Um, the good thing is that here it don't stink too much
Good.
because the wind is flowing a lot. It's very strong wind. But when the wind stops, then it stinks.
I see.
Yeah, and also it's because we are close to mangroves, and mangroves are filters, so they filter water. So obviously they absorb all the residues, whatever the trash is. So they stink.
Yeah.
But here it's mostly windy, and I think that balance the place. Yeah, you are in a stinky water, but wind is blowing, you don't smell it. I think it's part of the balance of the place because this place is very prosperous, and people don't complain much about the stinky water.
That's a good thing. I'm sure if it was really stink, nobody would eat there.
But when the wind change from the other side, yeah, then it's like, hmm. But people are used to it because it's not like it's not very bad smell. It's but you get used to it,
Is it
especially like
like
if you
the
live
ocean
around here.
fishy smell? Is,
Hello.
is it an ocean fishy smell?
Oh yeah, no, might be people on my hand, not sure. But now that I'm saying that, some people get used to it. I'm not saying it is good. I mean, not
You
because
can
you're used to it, it's
anything.
but
Yeah. But that's it.
um,
But that's not
for
good.
me,
We have to be sensitive. We have to be able to smell these things and then acknowledge them and say,
yeah,
well,
we use our senses,
yeah.
and so we have water color, water smell, water movement,
Mm-hmm.
and water will be another water
Taste,
quality.
taste.
Huh?
Because taste. Because if you live
Oh,
in an area where the water is contaminated, that's not good. You know?
see, five, right?
Yeah, it's not
That's
good.
what it
It's
is.
not good when water system is broken. We're lucky in most of the places here that, we can get clean water from our tap. But more and more, it's not that way. We got to, have a filter.
Yeah, it's that's very. I think that's one of the most important things of all. If I put it, because water gives us life. We breathe and we drink water, and we
Mhm.
can be alive for more than 2 weeks without food. If you're breathing good and you hydrate yourself, you can survive many weeks without food. And so water gives you life, and we are made of water. So um, if the water where you are, it's not um, it's not drinkable or it's contaminated, then there's no good chi in the place, no good energy. If
Right.
the and I think also you can see that on the wildlife. If the water has fishes and life in there,
Sorry,
then
what was
it's
it? If the water has what?
wildlife like
A wildlife.
fishes.
Hmm. Like fish.
It, yeah. So then it will be better quality of water because there's living beings in there.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. If they cannot survive, that means the water is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what we have to, that's what feng shui really is. It's really a matter of observation.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the more we observe and see the results of what that is, then we can make better decisions. Is this a good area or not? I mean, it's like nature's giving us all these signs, but we ignore them.
Mhm.
I don't know why we ignore them. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, as you say, smell, even the color, taste, the force, lots of things. Lots of
Okay.
things water tells us about the chi of the area. Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm sure you got to eat your lunch in your
Yeah,
break.
yeah, I got something here. I got fish. I don't usually don't eat meat, but I I'm drinking. I'm getting fish now. I don't know if I feel to, my body wants it, and I'm in a good ambience in general. So today is like celebrating.
Oh yeah, we should. You should celebrate. I checked, Justin. This is our 8th video. Pretty good, huh?
Oh, nice. You
Nice.
see, in the beginning, I was so nervous. People, you can go and see our first video. We're
Yeah.
trying this for the first time and have fun with it and learn while you have fun.
Yeah. We're having.
But yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm looking forward to keep doing this. I
Yeah.
think it's very important for humanity and people, every people, just to bring this awareness because we are talking about improving your quality of life. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want that? It's just by taking care of yourself and your environment, but it's very simple. And we are here to show you all how to do it.
Terrific.
Living
Thank you.
balances your environment.
Thank you. Thanks, Justin. Okay, you go and enjoy your lunch. Otherwise,
Bye.
Okay, have a good day. Take care now. We'll see
And
you next week. Thanks everybody for watching, and thank you, Justin, for being on locations. I hope you enjoyed our talk on water and feng shui. And I'm sorry, I tried to go live on Facebook 2 times, but it kept bouncing me back. So I will post this later. And I shall also post this maybe on YouTube. Okay, have a nice day.